Robert Garrow Sr. was a notoriously infamous serial killer. Robert Francis Garrow Sr. was born on March 4, 1936, in a poor family in the small town of Dannemora, New York. His upbringing was reportedly troubled, marked by abuse and neglect. Garrow's difficult childhood is often referenced in discussions about his later behavior, as he reportedly suffered from both physical and emotional trauma during his formative years. Garrow's known criminal activity began with minor offenses, but it escalated over time. His series of violent crimes started in earnest in the early 1970s, culminating in a terrifying spree that shook the state. In July 1973, Garrow abducted, raped, and murdered Alicia Hawke, a young college student in Syracuse, New York. Her body was found in a wooded area, and this case was linked to Garrow as he was already on the authorities' radar. Garrow's modus operandi was horrifyingly brutal and betrayed his violent inclinations. His victims, often young and vulnerable, faced unspeakable atrocities at his hands. The use of weapons, coercion, and his intimate knowledge of the Adirondack wilderness made him a formidable adversary for law enforcement. After the murder of Alicia Hawke, police launched a large-scale manhunt involving hundreds of law enforcement officers. Garrow managed to elude capture for a time by hiding in the dense forests of the Adirondacks. The manhunt was one of the largest in New York history, and after several weeks, he was found and captured in August 1973. Garrow's trial was a landmark case for several reasons. His defense was unusual for its time, hinging on claims of insanity and severe mental health issues stemming from his abusive upbringing. The trial spotlighted the complexities surrounding mental health defenses in criminal cases. Even more controversial was the ethical dilemma faced by Garrow's defense attorneys, Frank Armani and Francis Belgi. During preparation, they learned from Garrow the locations of bodies of victims that had not yet been discovered. Bound by attorney-client privilege, they did not disclose this information, which later led to significant professional and personal consequences for both lawyers. This part of Garrow's story raised significant ethical questions about the responsibilities of legal defense and client confidentiality. Garrow was convicted and sentenced to a lengthy prison term. However, the drama surrounding him didn't end with his conviction. In September 1978, he attempted a daring escape from the Fishkill Correctional Facility, only to be shot and killed by guards in the process. The Robert Garrow case left a lasting impact on numerous aspects of society, including legal ethics, the criminal justice system's approach to mental illness, and public awareness of the plight of crime victims. His life and crimes have been the subject of several books, documentaries, and academic studies aimed at understanding the mind of a killer and the system's response to such heinous acts.
Let me get a hold of them right now. We can try now and they can get in there. They can go back down to the road there. This morning we're starting out a search detail here of 40 men on foot. They will start from the road that you're standing on now, just up about half a mile here to where the dogs went in earlier. And they will sweep on either side of Robb Creek and Fly Creek, continuing on up for a point approximately 2 miles. While they're traveling up here, we'll have what we call a floating center of men who can fall between the two search details on the creeks, using the creeks as their perimeters. And they will, when they reach a point when they can no longer practically flop over the middles, we will mark that point, continue on up the creek for a point 2 miles above, which is marked by a camp. Then the details, when hitting that point, will travel towards each other into the middle, come back down towards the road to the point that they marked. In the meantime, covering the entire area, this 2 mile area, one search sweep. When they hit that point, then they'll move back across the creeks and come back down the road, sweeping in approximately, I would say about a 3 mile area, or a 2.5 mile area. That's what's going on right now.